The UFC will achieve a historic first when UFC 300 takes place inside the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada, on April 13th. The UFC 300's fight card left a lasting impression on the mixed martial arts community. The three fights that UFC CEO White announced first were Jiri Prochazka versus Alexander Rakic, Calvin Kattar versus Aljamain Sterling, and Bo Nickel versus Cody Brundage. White declared earlier this week that he will disclose a second bout at UFC 300. He declared that Zhang Weili would take on Yan Xiaonan, a fellow Chinese citizen, to defend her strawweight championship.
All right, everybody, on August 13, 2019, history was made when Weili Zhang beat Jessica Andrade to become the first Chinese champion in UFC history. Well, guess what? 5 years later, we will see history being made again as Weili Zhang faces #1 contender Yan Xiaonan for the UFC strawweight title on UFC 300, and this is the first time two Chinese contenders have faced off for a world title. Why is this such a badass fight? Let me tell you why. Weili Zhang has 19 finishes and 24 wins. That's an 80% finish rate. She is tied for second most title wins in strawweight history, and she was involved in arguably one of the greatest fights ever versus Joanna Jędrzejczyk. Her last fight was the most dominant statistical win ever in UFC women's history against Amanda Lemos. She outstruck her 288-21 in that fight. She landed the most strikes on the ground by a UFC strawweight ever. Now, Yan is the first Chinese female ever signed to the UFC. She's got the most head strikes landed in a single UFC strawweight fight ever. And she is coming off a first-round knockout against Jessica Andrade in under 3 minutes, which, by the way, she was a 2-1 underdog in that fight, and she has 8 first-round knockouts. This fight has bad written all over it. So, there's one of the title fights for UFC 300. I will have at least 2 or more for you tomorrow. Have a lovely evening, everyone.
Nate Diaz sent the following message alongside the banner for his postponed rematch with Conor McGregor earlier today, igniting excitement for the impending spectacle. In X, he wrote, "I was supposed to headline UFC 200, headline UFC 300 would be better. Regretfully, there is little chance of it occurring because McGregor declared he would be facing Michael Chandler. After months of conjecture, McGregor announced on social media on Monday morning that he would be facing Chandler at International Fight Week."
Hold on. Ladies and gentlemen, a happy new year to you all. I'd like to announce the return date for myself, the notorious Conor McGregor, for the greatest comeback of all time. It will take place in Las Vegas for International Fight Week on June the 29th. Come a little closer. And the opponent, Michael Chandler. And the weight, Mr. Chandler, 185 pounds.
Speaking on his YouTube channel after Conor McGregor's declaration, Henry Cejudo now commended Michael Chandler for holding off on accepting another fight and for not growing impatient. Cejudo said, "Conor McGregor is going to be headlining UFC International Fight Week, which is going to be crazy. But the question is, he's doing it at 185 pounds, and a lot of that stuff makes sense. Conor has gotten big, and for that weight class, Conor is short. But guess what? So is Michael Chandler. They're both two short, stocky dudes that are going to be firing at 185 pounds. I mean, Michael Chandler did a really good job of just waiting. Because you know why? Conor McGregor is a cash cow. I mean, I would wait almost 2 years to fight Conor. When you fight Conor, you are guaranteed pay-per-view points, which I don't know if the UFC is going to give it to him, but they might. That's a whole lot of money. Those are a whole lot of M's, millions, that are coming your way, Michael Chandler, because you decided to wait." Shab is one of many speculating on what might happen in 2024 as the year goes by and certain key concerts approach. He declared, "UFC 300. I think you get Conor McGregor, Michael Chandler. Then I also think, and I have no inside sources. I didn't source check anything with this, but it's just what appears where I think this could line up. I think UFC 300, you're gonna get Conor Chandler, and you're gonna get GSP Nick Diaz. Here's my only assumption with that. If you notice lately, GSP's posted a hell of a lot more. When guys retire, they're usually not that active on social media. They're sure not posting training or anything. Look at GSP's social media. He's posting way more content. He's in phenomenal shape. He was supposed to grapple on December 15th. They pulled him from that card. He's he's just commenting on it now. So he's in shape. I think they're pulling him, and I think he's staying in shape to come out at UFC 300. However, Chimaev has been hammering the table to gain his chance after defeating Usman by majority decision. Despite his sabbatical, some think Israel Adesanya is the frontrunner to challenge Dricus du Plessis for the gold next. In Nichols' opinion, Chimaev hasn't done anything to get a shot at the 185-pound title. Nichols said, "I think Dricus wants Israel Adesanya." That's what he said. His call-out was Adesanya, or it could be Khamzat Chimaev. They've been talking about giving Khamzat the title shot, but he has been hurt. He has been sick, messed up in the hospital, broke his hand, all this crazy stuff. Dude, they're gonna give Khamzat the title shot for sure. At some point, I don't think that he's gonna have to fight again till he gets the title shot. Do I think he deserves that? No. He hasn't fought a single 85er. He has fought less 85ers than me. My guys aren't even on the roster anymore. Israel Adesanya isn't dismissive of Khamzat Chimaev's abilities as a fighter, but claims he hasn't seen anything special from Boers at 185 lbs to regard him as a potential threat to his title. Adesanya stated, "This guy fights at welterweight. Yeah, he's fought at middleweight one time and he's fought like a low-ranked guy and definitely can beat some middleweights, but I'm like, show me something. Show me something like he's never. His last fight was impressive and I said I might not like you, but if I'm impressed by what you do, I'll give you props. Yeah, he's a beast, but he's a beast at 170. Chimaev would love to share the octagon with Adesanya in a potential title clash down the line. During the media day, Khamzat Chimaev stated, "Izzy is more fresh and young like me, and I think he wants me as well because he already fought everyone at middleweight. He's like me. He wants to fight everyone. I want to do the same." As Henry Cejudo announced on his YouTube channel, his fight with Merab Dvalishvili will take place at UFC 298. During the aforementioned video, the Machine took offense to Triple C's comments and took time at the end to respond. He said, "Brain damage. We have a result from the hospital. Henry Cejudo has a longer tongue than himself, but no worries. Dr. Merab will fix this problem on February 17th. See you there, Henry. I'm coming for you." Dvalishvili took to his X account, where he posted a hilarious skit outlining what he believes will transpire in the division going forward. He said,
"I'm back with breaking news, everybody. So we know the champ Sean O'Malley called out number 6 guy Chito to avenge his loss. Of course, Chito Vera will beat skinny guy again and he will become UFC new champ. Already, Chito Vera called out number 4 Corey Sanhagan to avenge his loss. Of course, Corey will beat Chito again and he will become UFC new champ. And Corey will call out number 5 Peter to get his loss back. Peter will win against Corey again. And Peter will call number 2 this handsome guy. And of course, this handsome guy will beat Peter again. And then here comes the news. I will avenge my loss and call out number 885 Frankie Science out of the retirement. What the is going on, guys? And hey, Henry Cejudo, what are you talking about me? Don't think I forget about you.
I'm about to retire Aljamain Sterling's butt plug. His name is not Marat, it's Marat.
Brain damage. We have a result from hospital. Henry Cejudo has a longer tongue than himself. But no worries. Dr. Merab will fix this problem on February 17th. See you there, Henry. I'm coming for you.
Moving towards the main card, former lightweight champion Charles Oliveira will be fighting on the historic UFC 300 fight card against 4th-ranked Arman Tsarukyan. Dana White said via Instagram post,
What's up, guys? I just got back from vacation. 2 fight announcements for you. First, the co-main event in Miami, March 9th, UFC 299 will be number 3 ranked lightweight Dustin Poirier versus number 12 ranked Benoit Saint-Denis. Saint-Denis is on a 5-fight win streak with all 5 coming by finish before the 3rd round. He's been saying that he believes he's the new BMF of the UFC and he'll have the opportunity to prove it against Dustin Poirier, who is an absolute savage and always goes to war. These 2 guys agreed to fight, but they both wanted a 5-round fight, so they got it. That is the co-main event of the Miami show. Next, for UFC 300, number 1 ranked lightweight Charles Oliveira is taking on number 4 ranked Arman Tsarukyan in a number 1 contender fight. Oliveira was supposed to fight the champ Islam Makhachev, but Islam is still recovering from an injury. Tsarukyan is coming off a vicious knockout of Beneil Dariush. The winner will face Islam when he returns this summer. So, There's two big fight announcements for you now. I'll have more for you Tuesday after matchmaking. It's good to be back. See you Tuesday.
Dan Hooker believes there's at least one contender that UFC lightweight champion Islam Makhachev wants no part of. Tsarukyan likely needs one more win to earn a shot at Makhachev, but Hooker doesn't think that the streaking Tsarukyan should hold his breath waiting for that rematch. Hooker stated, "Yeah, they had a pretty close fight in the first one. Yeah, Tsarukyan could beat him. Islam's not going to fight him. I guarantee he'll retire by the time Arman gets there. For sure. It's too risky. There's too much risk. There's too many other easier fights out there that he'd rather fight. There's easier fights out there. Stylistically. There are bigger names. No one's going to buy an Arman Tsarukyan pay-per-view. Come on. No one's tuning into the press conference. No one's giving $80 for the pay-per-view. You'd rather watch Islam fight Conor McGregor or Justin Gaethje or something like that." Leon Edwards made a second successful defense of his welterweight strap just 2 weeks ago and is wasting no time in returning to the octagon. While attending his favorite soccer club's stadium, Leon Edwards spoke to the Aston Villa supporters. "It was amazing, you know, to go out there and defend my belt for the second time and bring it back home. I will defend my belt in April at UFC 300 in Vegas again. Then hopefully, in the summertime, get a flight back home in Birmingham at Villa Park. I'm in talks with the UFC, so hopefully we can get it done." If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and check out some of our other videos on the screen right now.